Hello, in this video, I'll be showing you how to deploy an application and a database using the Kubernetes service. So let me share my screen. Let me start by showing you the application that we want to deploy very quickly. So I believe you can see my screen now. So this is the application we want to deploy, just a simple application that connects to MySQL database. Um, And if you've been following this series, it's the same application I've been using also. So this is the application. I'll be making it available in the GitHub repository. Then let me stop sharing. Let me go to the console. Okay, so if you've been following the Kubernetes series that we started a couple of videos backwards, the first thing we do is to create a cluster, and I already did that. The only difference between this cluster and the one I created previously was that for this cluster, I integrated my Azure container registry to it because I know that I'll be referencing those in my YAML file. So this is the images for the database I intend to use and the application. This is for the application that I'll be using. I use this for another project. I'm not using it for this. Yeah, so over here you can see we have our workload, namespaces, services. We're interested in our workload and the scripts, the YAML script that will be entering into our workload will also suffice for our services. So what I'll be doing is, so I'm going to workload now. So what we want to do is we want to deploy an application. So using the Kubernetes service, we've deployed an application using Docker containers and we saw the process. But this time around, we want to work with Kubernetes service. So let me just open my file. I haven't tested this actually, so I really hope there will not be any error. So this is the API version, app service, the name, metadata, the specification, the port being opened. Um, so one thing that is important is over here that we are referencing the image. We need to ensure that the image I showed you previously, that's this .NET DB app, is what you have here, .NET DB app, the latest version, container port 80, and I think we are good with this. I think we are good with this. I should probably start with the database. I think I should start with the database. Then afterwards, I would add for the application. So let me add the database first. Okay, so the reason why the source, when I showed you the Visual Studio, the reason why under the host, the source, I was using MySQL is because we are calling it MySQL here. So that's why I called it MySQL and not localhost. Okay, so port, the default port. I think all is well. So what we are doing now is we are adding both the deployment scripts as well as the service scripts. In the last Nginx tutorial that we had, we did both separately, but in this video, we are combining both together. So let me add, I'm just trying to go through it to be sure that there's no error. You can see it's creating the deployment as well as the service. This will take just a few minutes and it will be done. So let me refresh and it's done. So if I should go over to the services, you see that even though I didn't add the YAML file here, because it has been tagged as kind service, it will automatically be referenced there. Okay, so because this is a database, so there is no IP address over here as well as here. So what we are going to be doing is I will be adding another YAML file, and this time around for the application, the container for the application. Yeah, I think this is good. So let's add. So this is way simpler because everything is working together as a unit. Unlike the previous time that we ran a container, we used Docker Compose and we separated the containers. There's no really unifying factor between both. But in this case, we have them working together as a unit because they are in a cluster. And we can see how the use of pods also impacts the availability of our application. So you can see the My App has been provisioned, the workload has been added already. So what I'll be doing, let's see the service also, and we'll see the IP address. Is there no IP? Okay, it's here to, let me refresh. Let me refresh. Yeah, so we can see it now. We can see the IP address. I can see that um, it's of type load balancer. So what I will be doing, let me open this. So you can confirm the amount of pods that is in use, the amount of replica sets. So you can see over here, 1 of 1 is ready. So if you want some more detail, you can open this up. Click on pods. And you can see that it's just one. It's just one. So we are not load balancing this particular application because we have just one container. There's no exact replica of it, unlike the previous one the previous lab that we did, that we had 3 replicas running. So the application, this is opened, and you can see that our course ID, course name, as well as rating, all these are from the database. All these are from the database. Yeah, so I believe this is pretty clear and straightforward. So for some reasons, my CSS isn't reflecting, but what's important is that the interconnection to the database is working quite well. Okay, so I believe you've gained something from this. You can now see how you can use the Kubernetes service on Azure provision an application as well as connect it to a database. Stop sharing now.